Day missions, if you're not familiar with it is part of our vacation Bible school that works specifically with completed 4th grade through completed 12th grade. And then we ask the college students to come in as well. We do that because we do have the mixed ages, and we use it as a mentor, that the older ones can be a mentor and a positive influence to our younger children, and it has worked out amazingly in the past. You never, ever, ever have to worry about 2 people being alone by themselves. So don't ever worry that, because we go out as groups. Whenever we leave the church, we have our different chaperones and drivers. Jessica Brooks, who is not with us today, she organizes all of our different groups, and she will probably be contacting you or somebody off the Day Missions Committee to say, how many people can you take? Are you a driver? Are you just going to be a chaperone? Just different information like that. About mid to end week, once she gets most of the groups situated, which are subject to change, by the way, but once she gets most of the groups situated, then she will email or mail out the information showing you who's going to be in your group and what color your group's going to be, so that when you come in Monday morning, you'll go to the registration, check in, and you'll go over to the section and start looking for your students that's going to come in. Day missions, we work with several different organizations, and then, like I said, that working with the inner city children, it's been such a blessing. What we do is when we meet here, we ask all volunteers to be here no later than 8:45. So if you can be here between 8:30, that's great. We always need people helping at the registration tables. So if you can get here early enough and you want to help with registration tables, please let us know, and we will have you assigned to that as well. But what you will do, if you're not familiar with the junior high floor, you get on the elevator in this building here and go up to the 3rd floor. That's the entire youth floor. So the very first room that you will see is the senior high youth room. That is our check-in room. You will go in there, check in, and immediately go out the door, go down the hall, and you'll go to our youth room, our junior high youth room, where we just get together, and that's where we have our opening and closing and everything there. So anyway, and we're so blessed that we get to use those floors, and because when we do VBS, we cover the entire campus just about. So, but whenever we meet up there in the junior high room, I will get up on a daily basis and I will give the instructions for the day. In your bag, you will have different instructions every day because we repack them at the end of every day. So when you come in, you'll see what else you're going to be doing. But that morning we will go, especially Monday morning. Monday morning is always the busiest, I should say, just because it's Monday morning. But whenever you go in and you're sitting there with your groups, we ask that you really, once you get to know your group, that you really keep them with you. One of the things we've got to make sure is that the youth and the students are not roaming the floors, that they're always supervised, and we're going to have signs posted saying, do not enter this room, do not cross this rope, because they've put a lot of money into the junior and senior high floor, and we just want to make sure that things aren't damaged. Because like I was saying earlier, when Barbara helped us begin, we started out 8 years ago with about 25, 30 students at the most, and last year we had 125 students by the end of the week, which is amazing. So you can just see how God has blessed it over and over and over. But after you get your instructions, we will have a very quick devotion. In your training manual, that is where the devotion is at. You will see that. What you do is very simple Bible stories that's in there. We assign group leaders. So if I'm in the blue group and I'm a blue group leader, if I go to one of the inner city, working with one of the inner city locations like Bel Air or the YMC Judson, YMCA Sterling, it's going to be my responsibility to teach this lesson. It will not take long at all. But please look over it before you go. And what you do, you don't have to be elaborate. You can even, if you've got a very vocal student that feels comfortable, you can even give it to them and ask them to read it. At some of the elderly locations that we visit, we come together as a group. Again, we will have this. And it is so easy to adapt to whatever age you need it to be. So if you're working with the younger children, hey, you got it right here. If you're working with the older children, just change it a little bit. You know, you can pump up God's Word to be appropriate for any age. So anyway, and like I always tell our students, don't ever think you know God's Word that you can't learn anything else, because as sure as the world, you're going to find something that's going to blow your mind, and you're going to learn something different, which is great, which is what we ask God to do. So anyway, that will be the group leader's responsibility. In the past, what we did was try to learn some of the motions to the songs, and then we would go teach the younger children the songs. If you want to come and learn the motions, Tina is going to be practicing with us this week. You're more than welcome to come and do that. However, we don't put a lot of emphasis on it because our time is so short at these locations that sometimes we spend a lot of time trying to teach the kids these songs and things. So anyway, but we will leave each location a CD. The places that we are going is in this here. This is like our little day missions, little, very informative. It's small print. I apologize for the small print, but it's very important information. So please take time to look over this, and it highlights the organizations that we're working with. One of the new organizations that we started working with last year, and this is where the little boy that I told you about earlier when I told you the Reggie story, this is where he came from. It's an organization called Bel Air Community Fellowship. And it's located, if you know, off of Mills Avenue where the lofts are. It's right behind there. And believe it or not, Randall Kowalski is one of them who helped start that organization over 25 years ago. It was part of our missions. We never even had a clue that this is where our mission money was going. My son is Ryan King. He's sitting right here. He was a summer intern. He lived over there this past summer. He lived among them. And trust me, he needed a break. He needed a break, and he was ready to come home sometimes. But he would not trade that experience for nothing in the world. So because he had such an opportunity of witnessing to these kids that are from broken homes, that are they have nobody. They literally have nobody. We get prayer requests all the time where the kids have been abandoned. You know, please pray for this person. Please pray for we don't have a home for this person. We don't have a home for that person. It is in our own backyard. And most of these students go to Greenville High School. Isn't that right? Or most of them go to Greenville?
Age, sir.
Just depends on the ages. Okay, oh, well, that's right, because most of them are middle school that we're going to be working with. A couple are high school. Most of them are middle school that we'll be working with at Bel Air. And every day was such a blessing. When we asked at the end of the week, we normally do like a pizza party, and we have the kids giving a testimony. We're not doing that this year because with swim team and with that it's got so big, we've run out of pizza and everything else. So we're not doing that, but we are asking the kids to put the testimonies on the hands so that we can put them all across the church to see how they saw God, how they shared God. And that will be a question you ask your students every day. How did you see God? How did you share God? So get that conversation going with your family that you're assigned to for day missions. But almost every one of them, when we said, what was one of your favorite locations? Almost every one of them said Bel Air. So, and it blew our minds that Bel Air, because we were really a little nervous about it, a little apprehensive, because it was new, working with a lot of inner city kids. So anyway, it was amazing. When we go to these locations, we have a devotion. Bel Air, YMCA Judson, and YMCA Sterling, those are the locations that we work with the inner city kids. So the YMCA Sterling will be from the little to the older. They will go mixture from elementary to high school. The YMCA Judson is primarily little ones. So it's mainly, I think one day maybe we may have up to 5th grade, but there's no middle school, no high school there. But anyway, what we do is we take crafts, anything that we're going to do in your bag or in your box when you come in every day. You will have a new box. One person in your group will be assigned to be the craft taker. So that person, when they leave, you know that's who's got the craft. One person will be assigned to the water bottle person, because we used to send the snacks out, but again, it interferes with our time, and the kids would leave paper and stuff out. So we send bottles of water only. When they come back, we leave here after we do our prayer, our devotion, our instructions. We leave here between 9:30 and 9:45. 9:45 at the latest. That will be on Monday. Monday will be the one that we have to pour more instruction into. So, but whenever we leave, you will take your group, we dismiss by colored group, and the drivers will go down there, and once that group is out, we make the other group wait until that one has already gotten down, getting loaded up. They leave and they go to their assigned location. So we do this until we have all the groups out, and then when you come back, we ask that you leave the locations no later than 11:30. If you get to a location that you're doing yard work or painting and you get done early, it's okay to come back early, but don't come back an hour early. I mean, if it takes them 30 minutes, just figure out something to do. Spend time with the elder, ask questions, do whatever you need to do, but try to spend that time as quality time. Don't bring them back here early because we don't have anything for them to do once they get back.
So at the sites, will it just be the people that are in my car, or will there be other?
No, there's several cars going to one group, so you will not be the only adult.
Unless you go to a home.
Unless you go to visit the elderly.
Somebody's house, then you're on your own.
Right, and it's you usually have how many you can fit in your car. And I know that Beth and I both went to a house one time, and I had some in my car and she had some in her car. So if we have enough that we can send 2 groups, that's great. We have people that are Crystal Caps. She's with Compassion Connection. It used to be Diligent Hands, Gracious Hearts, but that's no longer. So Compassion Connection, Crystal Caps organizes every one of our events that we do. And she will be one of the main contact people if there's questions about getting lost. But we have done a map quest that she will approve. And a lot of times people plug it into their GPS and the GPS doesn't always lead you correct. So please make sure if you plug it in your GPS, make sure it kind of pans out with the instructions that you're given. All of the locations are within probably 5-7 miles at the most. So they're all local. And whenever you visit the elderly, one of the things, if it is an individual home, we do have a couple of them. I think some of them's wanting painting done, some of them's wanting yard work done. Some of them simply want visitation. We visited a lady, and I don't know, it might have been the little lady that we visited, had no family here, had no one, literally no one. And so we went and spent time, and you think, oh my goodness, this is going to be so awkward, I don't know what to ask. We've got that taken care of. Pam Cole has written us some question cards for our students this year. They will be in your bags, and you can pass them out to the kids in your group. And it's amazing how whenever they start asking what president do you remember the longest, it is a history location, a history lesson all over again. And it's so neat that they can ask that one-on-one information. But the little lady we visited last year or the year before last, we got there and we were thinking, what are we going to do to fill up this time? She had all this artwork. We didn't realize that she was an artist, and amazing artist. So she wanted the kids, and the kids were just loving it, weren't they? They just wanted to go and have pictures made with her, wanted this, that, it was just the neatest thing. So that's one of the reasons we say pray with your group, because I truly believe if you pray and ask God to bless your group when you're going through, He's going to bless it. And just try to make sure their attitudes are positive. If you see somebody with a bad attitude, pick at them, kind of bring them out of their shell or whatever. Just to, pick at them in a good way, not in a bad way, of course. But just to make them feel welcome and a part of the group and a part of the family.
And you may have said this, but you have the same kids every day, or watch different kids every day?
In most cases. Sometimes, like for me, for instance, since I have to bounce around, I may not have the same person every day. But I've had some requests this year that I have. People have requested, and that's the only way they're going to let their children go is if they get to ride with me, and I will have the church fan. So therefore, I was going to plug myself in at Bel Air, and just because it is a new location, but after talking to different people and the chaperones that loved it too, they're comfortable in going there. And Paul, were you comfortable at Bel Air whenever you went?
Really. Playing the games, I was.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, with that, okay, well it's just a little different, but because it is a house, yeah, but it is, you go into the house and it is the house setting because somebody has donated the house and it's definitely in a lower income situation, and we all go up and cram into a little room, do our Bible study. We don't have anyone to do the music this year, so we won't be doing the singing, but we will, whenever we do that, we'll come down and we'll have something different that we do with them every day. It was just, there was a lot trying to get in. Yeah, right, and that's when you get your interaction and everything. So it is awkward a little bit just being in that little room, but God blessed it though, He really did. So anyway, we were amazed at whenever I was getting ready to do one of the verses and one of the kids started popping out a rap of the verse. And we were like, whoa, they know this verse. And the summer interns have been working with them that week, not knowing that was going to be our Bible verse for the week. And so they already knew it, and they were like rapping that Bible verse. And so it was really cool to see them do that. So again, just look for the opportunities, look for the positive. We will have different games going on there. One of the things they love is basketball. We'll do a craft. A lot of times the girls want to do the crafts, the boys want to play basketball. a big thing is getting our kids involved, get them in there, interacting with them. We will do tie-dyeing one day with the t-shirts. We have a special t-shirt that we give to every kid at every location that we go to. So the younger ones will get the same Vacation Bible School t-shirts that the kids here get. And then the older ones, including us, will get one that is designed for day missions. So it's an older, more youthful looking t-shirt, and they will all have opportunities to tie-dye those or spray-dye those during the week. And this is the same at Judson and at the Sterling Center as well. This is a big change that we did. One of the things we want the students to know and realize, yes, they come to have fun. It's very important, but we want them to know that week is not about them. That one week they're going to take the focus off of themselves and they're going to put it on others. And sometimes that's hard to get through to a younger one because it's all about me, me. Sometimes it's hard for the adults because it's all about me, me, me. We want them on that first day, we're going to talk about how important they are in God's eyes, but how important it is that they let other people know how important they are in God's eyes. Because fortunately, most of our kids hear it from us, and they hear that they're gifts from God. These kids, they hear that, hey, I don't want you. You know, you're nothing but trouble. Why don't you go somewhere else and live? This is the things that they live. This is reality. And so we want them to know that they are truly gifts from God. They come from a different background, but hey, we're all created by the same God. And that's what we want to glorify. We want them to know that and them to have a relationship. And Ryan was able to experience a lot of that, seeing the kids come to Christ, and it floored us just to see that take place. With our elderly, this is the part that has changed when I was saying that it's not about us. One of the situations, a lot of times the kids aren't comfortable going door to door. We go to Garden Apartments, Towers East, the Summit, which is next door, and Gower, is that it? I know it's in our book.
Garden, Greenville, Summit, and Towers.
Right, okay. Yeah, and so anyway, we go to these different locations. What we're going to do now is they're going to meet us in the lobby. We're not going door to door anymore except for one place, and that's Towers East. When we go there, the director has already given us a list of people so that we're not knocking on doors where people are not going to come to the door. They're going to be prepared for us that we're coming. The kids and the adults are going to take them and walk down to the lobby area. Some of the locations we're going to do crafts with, and we'll have the question and answer time in the middle, and then we'll go back to finishing our crafts. If Pam Cole is with you or in your group, she is very comfortable in leading songs, and since she visits so many of these, she'll pop it right out. So, but me, I'm not comfortable in leading a song, and so I will not pop that right out. So I will come up with something else to do. However, you know, just encourage the kids to be with them, to spend time with them. They're in a big group setting again, so it's not like it's going to be that they're one-on-one, because they're not going to be one-on-one with them. The other locations, we're going to play bingo. So we've got prizes for them. They love playing bingo. So we're going to play bingo, give the prizes, the gifts, take a break, have question and answers, go back to bingo, and then we'll pray and we'll leave. So what we do every day, your group will go somewhere different. So there should never be a group going to the same place twice in the week, because we've got like 7 or 8 different locations that we go to. And so they will not be able to hit them all, but they should be able to hit somewhere different every year. We're not doing the poverty tour this year. That only happens maybe once every 5 or 6 years. So we are not doing the poverty tour this year. Everything will be hands-on. And again, it's what you make it. It is so what you make it. We continue to take the students to invite friends and register during the week. But if y'all know of anybody that is going to participate, please ask them to try to register this week, because it's so much easier for us to get the car space and everything done to make sure that we've got enough for drivers. We have asked our senior high and junior high. When we first started this, it was specifically 4th and 5th graders and senior high. And it went great. Again, that mentor program. Well, we left the junior high here, which didn't work so great. We had them running downtown. We had different things going on. It was hard to keep up with the junior high. So we had so many parents to say, can we please put the junior high in with the day missions? And we did, and it took off. I mean, God just blessed it again in amazing ways. But the college and senior high that do this, they are so good. As a matter of fact, we've got some young life leaders this year that are coming in as well, and they are so good about getting those little kids to come in and feeling comfortable and participating and everything like that. I know one of the concerns or questions that was asked at one of our committee meetings was, I'm not sure if a senior high person should be with a younger girl. Again, where they're never by themselves. They're always in a group setting, and out of the 8 years that we've been doing this, not one time have we ever had anybody to call and say, this is an issue. Matter of fact, and Beth has been doing this for years for us, haven't you? And Beth specifically called last year. She's got 3 daughters, and she specifically called last year. Wasn't you the one that called about the little fellow that went with you to see if you could have him again, the senior high?
I think that was the year before.
The year before? Okay. Oh, okay. So the year before, but she had specifically called and said he was great. Can we have him again? So these, it's just if we can pull it all together, it works awesome. It works absolutely awesome. So, but always keep your eyes open because there's a first for everything, and we definitely learn from our mistakes. In saying that, when we go to these different locations, a lot of times we don't know what to expect. We've had one location that we worked with for 5-6 years, and then we went in. We had already met with the director, knew what we would expect. We went in, and there happened to be somebody new there. And when we went in, what happened was that the teacher was actually teaching the inner city kids who she was familiar with teaching with. She invited our kids to come in and sit down, and when she invited our kids to come in and sit down, she was very verbal about how the world is, which is what her students needed to hear, but it wasn't so what some of ours were ready to hear. So we did have parents to come back and say, whoa, and they were going to get back on the bus, but the bus had gone. So, and it was like it was already on the other side of town, so they were calling saying, some of our kids have heard things we weren't ready for them to hear. We need to do something. So we sent out immediately. We sent out as quick as we could get somebody, got our kids, and we left. That organization has been removed. It's no longer on our list. However, that one incident, whenever you would ask which was your favorite, that was one of the favorite places. And that one incident caused us to have to remove them. So because the director did not forward the information to the new person, and therefore it caused some issues. So be prepared for the unexpected. We can't guarantee that they're not going to hear, see, experience things that they're not familiar with, and that's what Day Missions is about, to let them know this is going on in our own backyard. So just to kind of open their eyes, because if they're in middle school, high school, or college, then they've already seen it anyway. If not, if they're coming up, get ready, because this is going to be an eye-opener for them. Cell phones are permitted. This is one of the things, again, we've never had an issue with. Not to my knowledge. If we have, nobody's ever called and said, I've had a kid sitting there texting the whole time. We encourage them to bring them, because what they do is we ask them, take pictures. The only rule is they can't take pictures of just me and you. It would have to be somebody in the group that they're visiting. We've already got permission from their locations that we can take pictures. So with the elderly, we always take pictures. With the students, with the games, and it's the neatest thing because the kids take great pictures. And once we get them, Charlie Buchanan is our junior high youth leader. We're going to email those to him. And as we come in every morning and we have that extra waiting period before it gets to 9 o'clock, he's going to have it up on the screens with some music going and having all the daily experiences going on so that the kids can see them. So we do encourage that.
Do we encourage them not to put it on social media, or?
No, they can email it to Charlie. Now, however, they have given them permission to take pictures. Okay. So I guess, but we've got it from every location that it is okay to take pictures. Okay. So if they want to, as long as they don't blast them or say anything ugly about them, yeah, I think that would be fine. Okay. The only thing is, but please be aware of your group, that they're not disassociating with themselves or standing over to the side, and you want them to participate. So if you do see them texting or do see them on the telephone, just gently nudge them and say, come on guys, everybody needs to participate. Okay. We do have a dress code this year. And again, it's something that the youth and the senior high, the younger ones, we've never had an issue with before. And I really don't know that we've ever had an issue with the dress code. I mean, if they're dressing inappropriately. But the shorts do have to be like the school-length shorts, and no spaghetti straps with the girls. So the guys, as they come, the other thing, they can't have any wild non-Christian things written on their shirt or anything like that. So if they wear T-shirts, it does need to be something that is appropriate, not inappropriate. Okay. Stepping out of our comfort zone. Sometimes with our kids, we do have to kind of encourage them to step out of their comfort zone, because if it's up to us, we are going to be exactly who we want to be with, and it's all these kids. How are they going to ever get to know somebody else in the church if they don't step out of their comfort zones? Another reason that we mix the ages. So they will be on their list. They've got on there, if you prefer to be with a certain friend, we will do our best to make sure that you're with that friend. But if they put 2 or 3 friends on there, we cannot do that. We can only do our best to make sure they're with one friend. Hopefully, by the end of the week, they will have made many friends, and that it will be a bonding relationship with all of them. But even with stepping out of their comfort zone and going to the different locations, sometimes it's not the location kids that we see that stand off. Sometimes it's our own kids. Just put your arm around them, bring them gently around, and say, "Come on, guys, let's participate." Don't make them. Don't get them upset or anything else. But strongly encourage them if you can. So because we would love, all they're going to do is just to grow more if they will do that. Crowd control. We need crowd control at all times up on the youth floor when we're at the locations. So if you see kids that are running, of course we constantly tell them you don't run in the church. However, you see them running in the church. So if you see that, please just, hey, pop it down, or hey, don't run through the church. If you see them going into rooms that say do not enter, pull them out, okay? They do not need to be running wild, tearing up things or anything else. So please help us with crowd control. So it's not just the ones with the blue shirts on, it's everybody any adult that's participating. In order to drive, you have to be 25 or older. What we do is we have a release form for every child that participates to release you in case an accident occurs. Thank God, we pray a lot over that. Thank God we've never had an accident with our day missions. So, but what we're doing now is just in case we have to move, Anna over to Susie's group, and it's a last minute thing, every chaperone will have every child's release form. It'll be minimized, so you're probably going to need your glasses in case of an emergency to read it, but every packet will have every child. So if we do have to move that child, Jessica will know that, and these chaperones will know that we have to move you. So otherwise, the kids cannot just jump in somebody else's car. You're responsible for the kids that you have, and please make sure that they don't go jumping in someone else's car or do anything. Now, with our college and senior high youth, we do try to place them if we get enough. We try to place them in each group, at least one in each group. And even though they can't drive, they are chaperones. Senior highs are more or less like supervisors, the mentors again. So, but the college students is just like looking at one of the other adults. However, they just can't drive. So they have permission to say, to tell the kids, you don't do this, you don't do that, just as if you would. So, so we do welcome our college and welcome our senior high to help with our 4th through 8th graders. At every location, please pray. Again, you're going to hear that over and over. Please pray with the students, with the location before you leave. So if you don't get a chance to pray with them whenever you're doing the Bible study, please, sometime before that day's over with, pray with the kids, okay? Again, you may be the only Jesus that they ever see. Our bottles of water, whenever we do have those in bags for you to carry, what we do is freeze them the night before, so that way you don't have to worry about having ice or anything like that. You will simply have it in there. If somebody gets really hot, thirsty, whatever, they've got their bottle of water. Just please make sure they dispose of it correctly. We have fill-in locations. If we, say for instance, we have planned on 80 students, we end up the first day and we have 100 students. We've got to find somewhere to place those 20 students in a hurry. So our staff, a lot of time, we have pulled staff from First Pres to say we are in an emergency situation. Can you take this and run with it? And they have. We have our filler locations are the parks. So we have McPherson Park and Falls Park. And what we do is we give them some, in every bag you've got gloves, and we will have little trash bags. They are to clean up and to create or to help God's world be beautiful, continue to exactly what He meant it for it to be, and also to hand out bottles of water that we have that's got the church name on it, the church address, and a Bible verse. So that's inviting anyone that we see that's coming through there. If it's a hot day especially and they've got a cold bottle of water, most of them's going to take it, and hopefully they'll read on there that it's from First Pres. We would love to have you visit. Any questions, call, and here's a Bible verse. So they've just been the hands and feet of Jesus to a complete stranger. Okay, and I think I mentioned in the first meeting that we had, if you have volunteers' children, they will have the white band in addition to their other colored band. The students will go to the WOW room. They cannot stay up and help you. We need them to go to the WOW room and stay there so you can get your bags cleaned out, get ready for the next day. So, and we actually have assigned, like our committee, we will be the ones, unless you can stay and help us, we will be the ones to clean out the bags and prepare for the next day.
Yeah, we're not doing that, right?
Right. Only if you want to stay and help us, then that's great. We'll never turn down help. So if you want to stay and help us, you can. If not, the only thing we ask that you do is whenever you come back, that you sit with the kids until the end of the session, and then you can leave. So, but, you know, please just don't drop them off and then turn around and leave. If you can come down, stay at the final closing, and then whenever it's completed, you can leave. Make sure you collect the colored bands, put them in your bag for the next day. Every day the students will check into the senior high, and then they will go down to the junior high. They're not to get on the furniture in the senior high. They're not to, we're going to have like the ping pong table covered. They're not to play any of the games or do any of that, because that's not what we're here for. Again, the focus is on others, not ourselves.
When we come back, though, we don't go back up there.
You do not. Oh, I'm glad you said that.
How do we turn the bags in?
We will have a bin down here, and it's also in your pamphlet. We will have a box or a bin, and whenever you come back to drop off your students down here in the fellowship hall, this section over here on the end, that is where day missions will sit. And even if it's already in session, they're just going to come in there. They're going to grab their snack right out here where the tables are outside the kitchen. That's where their snack's going to be. They're going to grab that, drop their bags in the bin, and then you can go in there and sit. So then we take the bags and then we redo them and put them back upstairs. So. I think that's basically it. We will have the t-shirts. Again, the same way with the adult t-shirts. We have tried to order some for you, but we give them to the students before we give them to the adults. So if we run out or if we don't have enough for the adults, then we just pull those back, and it's not just fair to give one and not all of them. So don't forget that the coffee and the snacks, they will be here for you, and then we will also have other snacks down here as well. So it's for everybody that participates in day missions. One of the big things is that the day mission kids cannot go over and have snacks at our regular snack station. Their snacks will be different unless they just have an oodle of them left over and they bring them back, but they will be different, and they only come to the snack table that is located outside of the fellowship hall.
So as an adult, what's the dress code there? I mean, it sounds like we're doing work potentially, like
Oh, yes.
tennis shoes and shorts.
Exactly. Tennis shoes, shorts, anything that you don't mind getting messed up. So because some locations we'll be painting, some of them we will be gardening, and if you are one of the ones that's pulling weeds in the garden, we will have garden gloves in your bag so that when you come in, you've got that for you, with you. So, and then also the other bags in case there's trash, and the gloves, they'll all be in there as well.
So you won't know the day before where you're going the next day, right?
If we can get the schedule, that we do have all that, or Jessica is trying to organize that, but she will have in big bold letters, this is subject to change. Yes, but we will do our best to, whenever we mail out who's in your group and everything, we will do our best to say these are where we're planning for you to go. However, this is subject to change. Yeah, because a lot of times the week before Vacation Bible School, especially a couple of days before Vacation Bible School, is when everybody's like, oh no, I forgot to register my child. And then we have to cram it in there real quick, figure out a group that can go in and have all that ready.
Like leave a purse in the car? I mean, what do you do like with your personal belongings? Like
if you do, just make sure your doors are locked. Yeah, so if you do, because you're going to be right there.
Chicago, you're in a good place.
Yeah.
Arrested outside where we were. It was kind of frightening.
And we didn't have any situation like that.
Too, is if you're uncomfortable, you can call for help or something like that.
Right.
I don't know that we're ever not safe. I don't
It's
ever
just-
feel like that. It's just depressed areas is where you're gonna be, and it's a real eye opener.
And it's really, I mean, where would Jesus be? Jesus would be in those areas.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to go to the ones that make us feel comfortable. We're going to step out of our comfort zone, and we're going to go into the work field, the mission field, and that's what the whole week is about. But I've never felt uncomfortable about, you know, being scared. I had never felt anything like that.
No,
Right. And another thing too, one of the things they really want to do is play with your cell phone. Do not give them your cell phone. Do not give them your cell phone. We have the hardest time getting those cell phones back. So, and one of our leaders did last year, she was just like, oh, they're wanting my cell phone. And so I gave them my cell phone, and it was like, where's my cell phone? I can't find my cell phone. And they were all, you know, trying to play with it and everything else. Do not give them your cell phone. Just tell them, you know, we'll take pictures, I'll look at something with you, but do not give them your cell phone. So, let's see. Beth, is there anything that you can add? Or?
Well, we did the food shelf, you know.
At the Crisis Center?
The,
East Side?
That's not on here, yes.
East Side Park Center? East Side Crisis Center?
Yes.
It is.
Oh,
It
it
sh-
is.
Yeah, it should be.
Stocking the,
We are. We're stocking the bags.
Okay, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yes, it's East Park Crisis Center, I believe. Now, it may have been accidentally left off.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There
No,
it
it was
is.
always been East. No, that's Trying Mercy Center. Trying Mercy Center, we're not, but East Park Crisis Center has always been East Park Crisis Center. Since we've been doing it, it's been East Park Crisis
And
Center.
that, I just remember we locked ourselves in.
Oh,
because
yeah.
The homeless would come and knock on the door. You know, they only can come one day a week, I think, or a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids were a little leery about that.
Right.
Really, it was just so rewarding because the shelves were completely bare. We got in and we stocked them, you know, and the kids had pictures before and after, and it was just a nice feeling for
Mhm.
the kids, I think, see
Oh, yeah.
what they accomplished right then.
Right. And the places that you go, when she was saying they were locked them in, these places are aware that homeless people are going to come up and try to come and get food or clothes or whatever. They're very much aware of that. So they will be on alert, lock the doors. So our kids never, the only time they may ever be approached by a homeless person is if we're out giving water, doing things like that. But the organizations that we go to, they're going to be locked. Like Eastside, there's a possibility that we could do Trying Mercy Center. Right now, they didn't have a slot for us, but it's happened in the past where something's opened up at the last minute, and then we can work with Trying Mercy Center as well. But we separate clothing, we separate food, put it in bags for them, and then whenever they come, they actually get their food for the week. So it's again allowing our kids to see that we've got all this stuff on our shelves that we hardly ever eat. You know, it's going to go old, and we're wasteful. But these, they're appreciative of anything they can get. I mean, a can of Chef Boyardee is like a filet mignon. I mean, you know, so it's just, if the kids can see this, and I truly believe, my heart's always been missions, and many of y'all know this because I was a mission child. And had it not been for the love of others showing us Jesus when I was young, we would have had nothing. So that's the reason my heart is for missions. I know what the hands and feet of Jesus look like because they took care of us. God used them to take care of our family. So anyway, you know, if your heart's not for missions, this is not where you need to be. Even though we beg people to come. But if you don't have a heart for missions, then we've got other places to place you within VBS. But it's truly an rewarding experience, and it is an eye-opener for our kids. So
Would you say the age group was for the kids
that we
will be in our groups?
will be it's completed 4th grade through completed 12th grade. College are the chaperones as well. They just can't drive because they're not over 25.
Okay.
So, but like these two guys here, Ryan is a young life leader, so he's really good. And we've got some other young life leaders coming. And the one that's beside him here, Thomas, he is an FCA and has helped with day missions. They used to do the devotions 4-day missions for us. So, you know, they've been involved with it since we've been doing it, I think, haven't you? So, and they bring their friends and some high schoolers and stuff, and it's such a blessing, such a blessing. So, are there any other questions pertaining to day missions? Okay, please feel free. Anna, you will see Anna a lot. So, and you may, she may be bringing you things, calling. If you see a number come up that you're not familiar with, It may be Anna, so if you don't mind, answer it. So, because we'll have her calling and placing, telling you maybe what group you're in or whatever. But Anna she will work here. We try to give our interns that broad perspective of everything, so she will be a part of our day missions as well. However, if she's in your group, she may not be in your group for the rest of the week. We bounce her around, so she may be here or wherever's needed. So, but Anna she's been amazing. So, but. Okay, is there anything that y'all want to share that y'all have experienced or?
I mean, you just can't show favoritism in any manner. Obviously, don't show favoritism or for the VBS kids over the mission trip or the mission kids, but it works in the reverse. Don't show any extra attention to the mission kids because they're in these situations. A lot of the times, they feel like they deserve something because they're in the rougher situations, and when you kind of put them at the same level, I'm gonna treat you the same way I treat anybody else, it really helps them. That's what a big thing we saw when I was working with them last summer, and when that happened, they matured. I mean, this is obviously over a long term, but there's interns that'll be at that place working with them too, so you're just kind of helping them along. And they matured as individuals in society and stuff, and that really helped.
Mm-hmm.
So just set the bar.
Treat them right. Treat them as an equal. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. If there's no other questions, we're going to close in prayer. Thank y'all for your time, and again, please, every opportunity if it comes up, please pray. Just please.